Hey there, Pisces. Hope you're doing well, friend. We are checking in for your energies. Sun, moon, and rising will be the most dominant here. But let's, just see what is going on and how we can get you some guidance today. All right, for our Pisces. Now we're going to connect in using a Celtic cross. Some of you may have had some conversations come up or some surprising news this week, or things you just needed clarity on or understanding on. We did have Mercury Cazimi. We had so many different conjunctions in the last few days, so things could have just been changing up for you. All right, so let's see, Pisces. Thank you. What does Pisces need to know? Current energies. Thank you, Spirit. Straight up, we've got death energy. Crossing this, we have got the Three of Cups, Nine of Swords is sitting in your influence right now. Your past impacting you. Judgment. In your headspace is a Six of Wands. The message is coming through very clear already, but I want to get all the cards out and then we'll jump in. Near future. Your power right now, Pisces. Okay, we have two cards. We have the Six of Cups as well as the Hanged Man. Okay, your environment and what's around you is the Wheel of Fortune. Hopes and fears. Nine of Cups, and then the potential outcome. Queen of Cups, and I'll get a clarifier on that in the end, and we can ask a question at the end too if you have something specific you want to answer on, and I will get out the angel cards. You're also showing under the deck here with the High Priestess, Pisces. Okay, so connecting in, some of you have had some change on the horizon or have recognized something that you want to stop or cut out or needs to change. Whether this is something you've instigated or something that has just simply occurred. Now, if you connect each day, here on this channel, and if you feel connected, please like and subscribe so you can stay within the energy. What happens is you start seeing some movement with the energy. Okay, sometimes there might be new narratives, but you sometimes see the story change, and it could come up a few days later, a week later. And we did have this last week or earlier this week around the death energy that was sitting over here. What I feel is happening here, Pisces, is that, like I said, with whatever change is going on, it's either someone else has succeeded right now, or there's been a situation where there's been some form of win for something, but also that win or that outcome impacts you or impacts a situation that perhaps you've got to start again. And, trying to find perhaps the warmness or the lightness or the happiness, a part of that. It's just requiring a different energy from you right now, because in the influence is some form of stress, is some form of worry. What's happening next? What are we doing with this? Okay, sitting with this Nine of Swords energy, because it seems like with this past impacting presently, and the past could be yesterday, it could be 2 years ago, whatever represents this scenario, someone's made a decision here. Someone's made a call in terms of what's going on next. I think there's still some this is kind of telling me, because this is sitting in the headspace, the Six of Wands, I feel there's a couple of things going on. I think you may have people really trying to get you to warm you up in a sense of recognizing how far you've come and what you have accomplished, even though something has changed. I think along that too, there's still some belief here that whatever's happening here in terms of this situation, that you can still succeed, that you can still move forward in a positive way, in a positive light. I just feel like you may have someone around you right now who's really trying to allow you to see yourself and see your accomplishments and feel empowered. If you're giving this to someone or looking at a situation on how to feel and acknowledge those parts of what's next for your life, I think that it's like, what can I do well? Where can I be that's going to allow me to succeed and do the things that make me feel like I am, accomplishing my goals. I am, setting myself up for success, whatever that may look like, even with this change going on. And I do see a new beginning here for you. I do see an opportunity here where you get to explore something, create something, become, a different version of yourself. For some of you, if you are, connected to a strong feminine energy, or someone who, leads, or someone, maybe you're a mother figure subject to where you are, or someone who carries on that role in terms of that feminine energy, it just seems again like there's a spotlight on here for you, a spotlight of what's next, of where you're going next, of what you want to create for yourself. I've been feeling this in the last couple of weeks. You've got a lot of shifting energy going on that's helping you grow and helping you expand. And allowing you to create the things that you've been wanting to create for some time. So whatever those things are, it could be just, maybe some of you want to, want to write. Maybe some of you want to, pursue reading. Maybe some of you want to, tend to a garden and, create something new there. Whatever that thing is, maybe it's a new job. I don't know for you specifically, but in terms of this general reading and this energy, you've got an opportunity to explore something new. But I feel like this had to happen a bit more on purpose for you to give you space and allow you to see that this is time to go do whatever is next here in again, what makes you feel fulfilled, what makes you feel like you're doing something and it's not necessarily people can acknowledge, but that you're doing a right thing for the right reasons in terms of the outcome that you're also seeking, and maybe for some of you it is giving back, maybe for some of you it's taking care of people, maybe for some of you it's creating a new business. Ultimately, in terms of power in this situation, there does seem to be it feels like some reconciliation or reconnection. It could be to a child energy or a younger energy, but it could also be to yourself, this inner child of you. I feel like there wants to be some reconnection, reconciliation. There feels a sense of, it's like, do you see me? That's how it feels right now. And it's interesting that this is in the headspace. Maybe you want to be appreciated and acknowledged for your role that you play in an area of your life. And it's just, feeling appreciated can go a long way. It doesn't mean, they need to throw rose petals at your feet or do any of that. And I think sometimes people don't understand how much appreciation or acknowledging someone in terms of how they show up and what they do. And I feel there's something about this narrative or story right now that is coming up quite strongly for you, Pisces, because I think there's you're reflecting, you've got very strong Piscean energy here, and you had that under the deck, and that's been coming out a fair bit this week along with the Queen of Cups. So there is something that I feel is helping your heart expand, but what I mean by that is giving yourself that gentleness through this evolution of a situation here. And I think you're perhaps looking at it, how do I reconnect here? What is the best approach? What are you willing to sacrifice? Or maybe you've made some sacrifice, and again, when is this acknowledgement going to arrive? Or how do you be proud of yourself even if you're not getting that acknowledgement, and recognize what you have become and what you're doing in your life as part of your own journey? In terms of where this is heading around you right now, again, the acknowledgement, there's some significant change. And sometimes when the change is upon us and we're pushed into really uncomfortable situations, we all know this, right? Sometimes it's hard to stay above water in a sense of the positivity when there's a deep sense of loss that may come with it. I do feel, like I said, there is some transformation. It could be around friendships. It could be around something that made you happy and feel connected. Maybe it's someone who you spent a lot of time with, or maybe it was something that you once started and it's just a cycle that is moving through. Whatever this is, though, through this change and through this moment in time, there is this little blessing that's happening. Maybe you can't see it, but there is this little blessing that I feel is opening up for you. And again, there's something about you and your journey. And maybe you feel like you're doing it solo right now, or maybe you're looking at what you need to do next for you. But ultimately, this is about your happiness and your fulfillment. And I feel like this is quite a significant focus for you right now. So you may feel like energized in different ways. You know, sometimes the Empress too, as we know, is a lot about self-care, and self-care can come in so many ways. Maybe, you know, you're choosing to take, maybe you're starting to choose, like I said, take supplements. Maybe some of you are choosing to write or journal more. Maybe some of you are choosing to go more on walks. Whatever it is, I feel that there's some significant acknowledgement here of self that is very important for you to be, you know, I just feel strong in who you are. And it's not that you haven't been. I just feel there's been a bit of survival mode or energy, or it's just been so busy, and it's now time to kind of take that breath and work towards this Nine of Cups energy. And again, some of you may be doing it a little solo, and that's okay, because what it's allowing you to do in terms of this outcome with this Queen of Cups is remember the love that you have within you, the love that you are, the love that you're allowed to receive in, but also that you are really good at witnessing others through their own experiences and through their own journey, and the sound energy you bring to that even in troubled times. And I feel you're good at doing this, and sometimes when things are rocky, understandable, right? But something different is happening to you, Pisces. I don't know what this is in terms of your specific situation, but I feel there's something significant evolving here, something you're looking at or seeing differently, something that you're acknowledging. You know, maybe there's some acceptance, something here. I feel this is like a pretty big deal. As you're walking through it, I do feel like it's a pretty big deal. But ultimately, there's depths of you that only I think certain people understand, you know, and it's not selfishness, but I think it's time to be a bit selfish and do things that you need to do, because you're not self-centered, but you're allowed to choose yourself first in situations, in a time of loss, in a time of change. What do you need, and how are you keeping your head above water so you can step out of those depths and feel like you're on dry land, and acknowledge when you need to rinse and repeat sometimes in that water, but you know when you come out that there's this, you know, fresh air that you can just feel grounded in and feel strength in, and a reminder of who you are and how far you've come. So that feels, yeah, quite a moment for you right now, Pisces, in some form of transition. Now, if you have a question and want some guidance on it, I am going to pull a card. I'm going to pull 3 cards just to let you know. So whether it's 1, 2, or 3, just ask your question. We've got 1. There's a bit of a release going on here. 2 and 3. All right, Pisces, 1. If you chose 1, steady progress. We acknowledge you for the progress you've made in remembering love in your daily activities. We can clearly see the contribution you're making to the world through your thoughts, feelings, and actions of love. And that's what we just talked about here. This is about your steps forward, about what matters to you. So even if there isn't this clarity, you're making progress to walk closer towards where you need to be. If you chose number 2, you've got life purpose. The purpose of your life is to serve in a way that brings great joy to yourself and others. Don't worry about finding your purpose. Instead, focus upon serving a purpose, and then your purpose will serve you. Wow. That's just kind of blown me away. That's pretty expansive, that thinking. Don't worry about finding your purpose. Instead, focus upon serving a purpose, and then your purpose will serve you. That's really profound, I think, anyway. And if you chose 3, assertiveness. This situation can be healed gently and with love, as you've requested. Yet there's also a need for your strength and truthfulness with the other people involved. We will stand right behind you as you speak your truth, giving you strength and guiding your words. Yeah. As I said, I can see the little bit of stress that or worry around something troubling you. But Pisces, I really believe the shift in dynamics here is going to be really supportive, and you're making steady progress. I feel all of you are making steady progress, but you've also got to believe it, and you've also got to congratulate yourself along the way. As a reminder, be kind on yourself, be gentle on yourself, friend. I'll catch you later.